My name is Amelia. And my husband's name is James. I used to study in university. So James was my classmate. I was a fresher in my university and I didn't know about this university. I had no friends there. So I felt lonely there. One day, James randomly sat next to me. He asked me, "What is your good name? Are you fresh in my class?" I replied, "Yes, I am fresher here and my name is Amelia." He smiled at me and said, "Your name is also beautiful like you." I felt ashamed and I remained silent for a slight smile. When I saw him, he was looking at me with romantic eyes. I blushed and my face turned red. Then with the passage of time, we became good friends. He always helped me in my studies and supported me in every moment of life. Sometimes he would come to my house to study and sometimes I would go to his house to study. He lived alone. One day I asked him, "Where are your parents? Do you have any siblings?" He got worried and said, "No, I don't have any such relationship." I felt sorry and apologized to him for my questions. He said, "No, it is not your fault, it's my fault." I was disturbed to hear such thing from him. I asked him, What is your fault in this?" But he remained silent with a troubled face. Nothing else was said by him. I said, "Don't worry, I'm always with you. I am your best friend. I'll never leave you alone." He smiled at me and immediately hugged me and said, "I know you're always with me. Please don't leave me alone. I love you very much but not as a girlfriend. I love you like my best friend." His body was muscular. When he hugged me, I felt comfort in his arms. And when he used the words, "I love you," to show his importance, I felt in love with him. After some time, he would suddenly pull away from me and apologize for his stupid behavior and said I got emotional. I don't know what I'm doing. I was totally embarrassed and didn't say anything after that. We became good friends and stayed with each other all the time in the university. James was a very attractive and handsome man. Any girl could love him, but he was not interested in any girl. That's why I loved him. That's why I fell in love with him. But I didn't know if he loved me too. We started getting closer to each other. One day I did not go to university. James called me and asked me, "Why didn't you come to university?" I said, "Yes, I'll come later. I work at home." He said, "Okay." When I reached the university, I was shocked to see a girl holding James' hand and they were talking to each other saying this. I got jealous and rushed away from the place immediately and came back at home. I knocked myself into room and started crying and began to think wrongly about James. He cheated on me. He pretends in front of me that he's not interested in any girl. But behind me, he flirts with girls. I cried a lot because I loved him so much after that. He called me a lot for asking me why I have not come yet. But I did not pick up a single call of him and I didn't go to university after that. He was worried about me. He called me a lot but I didn't pick up. He texted me a lot but I did not reply after that. He came to my house. I had a fever because I had taken so much stress. He came straight to my room and was shocked to see me in this condition and asked me, "What happened to you? Why didn't you pick my call and answer my message? Are you angry with me?" I said, "You cheated on me." He said, "What are you saying? I never betrayed you." I said, "You are flirting with the girl in my absence and I couldn't see you with another girl." He said, "Why would I do that? Do you think this about me and I'm responsible for this condition?" Then I asked him about the girl he was talking to. He said that there is nothing between him and that girl. She just came to me and was asking about you when suddenly she grabbed my hand, but I didn't want it. I asked him, "Are you sure that there's nothing between you two?" He said, "Yes, I promise you." When I heard him, I was relieved and hugged him and James said, "I love you so much." I cannot live without you." Then I hugged him and said, "Yeah, I love you too." I told him, "James, will you marry me?" He remained silent and suddenly his hands started losing me. But I asked him again, "Will you marry me, James?" He said, "I'm not like you. We are different from each other." I said, "What are you saying?" He remained silent and I said, "I will not marry you." I was shocked. "Why would you not marry me?" I almost cried. "Don't you love me?" He said, "I love you, but I will not give what you need from me." I said, "I don't want anything from you. I just want you to be with me for the rest of my life and spend all my time with you for as long as I live in this world. I need your attention and cure. Can you give it to me?" He said, "Yes, of course, I will take care of you and spend my whole important day with you." I smiled at him and said, "Then why would you not marry me?" Hearing this, he reluctantly said yes. And I was very happy to hear his words. After that, we started the wedding preparations. We did a lot of wedding shoppings and brought a beautiful wedding dress. My husband brought black wedding dress and I brought a white wedding dress. He looked anxious and worried, but I thought maybe he didn't have a family and that's why he was remembering them on this memorial. So I tried to please him and made his mood just fine at our wedding party. When I came to church dressed, he was already standing there waiting for me. When he looked at me, he was staring at me with romantic eyes and he said, "You look like a princess. Will you be my princess forever?" I smiled and said, "Yes, I will be there." It was my mom from my side and from Jim's side, there was no one, but I did not let him feel alone. I told him that my mother is your mother now, your family. And so don't think too much and do not worry. He smiled at me and said to me, "You are a gift of God. And I don't want to lose you." I was happy to hear his words. My mother also liked James because he was very polite and respectful to others. I was feeling lucky with him. I replied that if you had not come into my life would have become meaningless. You're also a gift from God. After that, we got married. He put the ring on my hand and I put the ring on his fingers and we kissed each other. After that, I went to James' house on our wedding night. I was waiting in James's bedroom, but he didn't come. Then I fell asleep and I don't remember what happened. In the middle of the night, James came into the room. I was awake when he slammed the door. I was happy to see him, but also worried at the same time. I asked, "Where were you?" He said, "I'm sorry, I had an important work to do. So that's why I'm late." I said, "You know, today is our wedding night." He said, "Yes, of course. I know very well. But sorry, I'm coming late." I said, "Okay." He sat next to me and we were talking when suddenly James said, "I want to tell you something that I never told you before. But I didn't want to lose you. So I didn't tell you." I looked at him and said, "Yes, you can tell me, I will never ever leave you." He panicked and said, "I told you earlier that I am not like you." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I can never be like the man you wanted. I'm not a complete man. I'm afraid I won't be able to make out. I know you were waiting for this moment. But I'm really, really sorry, I'm not able to satisfy you." At first, I was shocked to hear this because James had such a muscular body and he had other masculine features. He got upset and said, "I'm ashamed, but I'm a transgender." I was shocked to hear what he said. And I asked again, "What do you mean, James? Don't fool me. This is not a funny time." "I'm not in a funny mood at all." He said, "No dear. I am not fooling you. It's true. I'm a transgender. I do look like a man but I'm not able to make out. I won't be able to give you my child." I was shocked to hear that. I started reacting. I said, "You cheated on me. How could you do this to me if you're not a man? Why did you marry me? I cried a lot and told him that you've ruined my life. He said, I didn't want to lose you because I love you so much. That's why I was afraid to tell you about that. He held my hand and said, I'll give you all my happiness and I'll make you every day special. I promise we will be always happy. Together. He said, look at my eyes. What did you see? I realized and looked at him. He said, I may not be a complete man. But do you see love in my eyes? Wouldn't that be enough for us? Won't you give me a chance to please you? If you still hate me, then I must leave your life forever. I said no, I don't hate you. I still love you so much. But he said, will you stay with me? Will you give me a chance to live my life happily with you? I said yes, I want to be with you forever. After that, we lived happily together. He took